Have you ever done something spontaneous like jumping off a well-known hotel casino? This is one of the many memories I was able to taking part in a travel baseball team. Not only did I have memories, but experiences that shaped my perspectives and how I approach different situations. Taking part in the travel baseball team was being part of a baseball family, traveling to different locations for baseball tournaments and learning life lessons on and off the baseball field. A club team is more than just players and coaches. It is the relationship that are built where friends become like second family. Travel ball is a family affair. During my time on a travel team meant that the whole family was involved. My dad was the head coach. There were many times that the coaching did not stop on the field, but continued on the way back home. Not always ideal, but it taught me to listen. He did have valid points. I just wasn't ready to hear them. My mom was also part of the team. She helped me with pregame equipment, like keeping my uniform clean and made sure my bag was ready to go. She also made sure my dad and I had food ready with cold drinks and snacks. During the games, she was my cheerleader and photographer. It may not seem like a big part, but it was important to me. My younger brother also took part, but by force. He was still to be out there, but as long as he had his phone or tablet, he was good to go. Not only was my family invested, but other players' families were also just as involved. The time and preparation by everyone played a big part in creating a good travel team. Our team players and coaches spent countless hours practicing to prepare for the next tournament, spending so much time together created friendships that are important today. Travel clubs give players opportunities to participate in tournaments to compete with other teams at a higher skill level. For some players, participating in the tournament have taken them to different places that they have never been before. We, of course, that included us, since we did also did a lot of traveling within the state, but we also traveled out of state as well. One of the best memories is the first time we traveled to Las Vegas. As teenage boys, we were definitely excited to see the city that we always heard of, and that there was a few boys on the team that have never traveled and were excited to see Las Vegas. The entire ride to Vegas, they kept asking my dad if we were able to explore. They had tons of questions like, is there a whole street that you can walk up and down and see girls in feathers? On that trip, my dad had realized that he wanted to make sure to give the team a fun memory, so he took us to Fremont Experience and let us take in all the sights. Another baseball trip to Vegas, we had a night off of baseball. This time we were a bit older, so we explored the other parts of Vegas. This trip, we went to the Strip and we walked down the streets and we ended up in the Stratosphere. Before we went to Vegas, we saw an ad about a bungee experience. My dad asked me if I would do it, and I said I would try it. He said, "Okay, let's go then." So I thought to myself that he was just asking me if I would see him do it and then checking out the end. But so he took me and two other players to do the bungee experience. And as we were traveling to the top of the stratosphere, the other two decided that they didn't want to take the risk. But wanted to show my dad that I didn't want to back out. Of course, my dad did look nervous, but I also think he was proud of me that I would not back out. We took the elevator to the top of the stratosphere, and then we had arrived to a point where my dad could not enter, but only jumpers to were allowed. He told me that he would be waiting for me at the bottom. I knew he would be outside recording my jump, but I had no idea he would go on Facebook Live. My mom did not go on this trip, but she found out that I was going to jump from Facebook Live. The jump was definitely an adrenaline rush and a memory that will be there with me for a lifetime. Not only did we go to show and prove our skills against other teams, but we also went to prove things for ourselves. Although we went with high expectations, not all tournaments had a happy ending, but we learned lessons that we could apply to different parts of our life. With the different dynamics on the team, it also gave me opportunities to learn life lessons. Every game was different. Not every game was played at 100%. This led to many frustrating plays that continued off the field. We had to play despite our short upcomings, and when games were not going as practiced, we had to adjust. Maybe the timing of our hearts, the heart-to-heart speeches were not great, and they weren't ideal, but we knew that they only had the best interest in mind. Being part of the team created lasting friendships and memories that had a part in shaping me as a person. On lessons that I learned that helped me today is adjusting my attitude when things are not going the way I like it. You know, my attitude, good or bad, can be contagious to those around me. Participating in travel ball also gave me memories that I can look back on and smile, from jumping off a building to making an infield home run and bringing in the runners needed to win the tournament. For me, travel ball was more than just a sport, but an opportunity to experience the beginning of something bigger.